Okay, this formula is called SUMIFS. It adds the cells specified by given conditions or criterias. So what we want to do is we want to say to Excel, look, if this equals that or that is lower than that, you want to ask multiple questions, and at the end of all that you want to know the total after asking all your questions. So this one, we have a list of all sales throughout the week, whether it be DVD, CD or book, and what day of the week they were sold. They're all in a completely different order. So we want to find out how much we've sold and on what days of the week. So we can total our sales for each day and total our sales for each item as well. So we use a SUMIFS formula, which is very similar to obviously a SUMIF, but SUMIF is for one criteria, whereas SUMIFS is multiple. The difference between the two straight away is that on SUMIF you do the sum range at the end, whereas SUMIFS you select the range you want to sum right at the beginning. So we know straight away that is what we want to sum after all our questions, and we'll press F4 to make that absolute, so we can drag it and move it around. Right, the question we want to ask is if this range equals this day, because this is for Monday. I'm going to make that absolute, and then we want to select after the comma if it equals Monday. And when I press the comma, it then moves on to the second criteria, so you don't have to worry about brackets or anything, it's just commas, commas, commas. So sum range, criteria range, if it equals G5, which is Monday. Now what we want to do with G5 is, we want to press F4 twice, so when we drag it down, it's still going to reference that cell, but when we drag it across, it's going to move along. So this is how we do that. We absolute the row rather than the column. So criteria range 2, and if the product equals, absolute that, equals, this is the tricky bit though because you can't see it because I've made one big hell of a formula. So press, we'll select here, and we know if I go down and right, that's going to select the first one. And this one you absolute the opposite way, so you want to absolute the column rather than the row. So if those two conditions are met, then tell me how many books were sold on Monday. So we can see that no books were sold on Monday, which they weren't. Now the reason why I absolute so many things in here and columns and rows, you'll learn when you're doing this that it's best practice to do it, because that means you don't have to sit and type the formula in each and every one, and you can just drag it about and do what you want. So I can drag those down. CD Monday $6.99, that's right. DVD on Monday $2.99 and £8, which amount to $10.99, and I can just drag all those across. Brilliant. So that's SUMIFS, and what we can do is then we can then total for the week. So we can see we sold that amount of books, CDs, DVDs, and we can get a total for the day as well. And these two should add up perfectly. 12494, 12494. Wonderful. And that is how you do a SUMIFS. Thank you for watching.